Human empathy 2020. Because do you know who doesn't have empathy? Fucking Rudy Giuliani. So this is how we're going to start off the show tonight. With Rudy Giuliani just saying some batshit crazy stuff.
Rudy, it's good to see you again. Look, we've got a lot to discuss here. Hunter Biden's name back in the headlines. This bombshell report from the New York Post.
It's not a bombshell.
Your name's involved in it. I want to walk that through. There's a lot of questions about that. But first, I just want to get your overall thoughts on what you saw, the media reaction to the information that was released so far, and what stood out to you the most.
Well, what I saw from the mainstream media is the usual cover-up of Biden criminality, which is now at the point of major scandal. I mean, the fact is that there's so much evidence that the Biden family has been taking money illegally for many, many years.
There is none.
I think the Washington press corps knew it and covered it up. And now we have Biden's own text messages to his father, to others, which make it clear that they were stealing money, taking money from countries like Iraq, Ukraine, China, Romania. Oh, don't forget Moscow, the 3.5 million from Moscow that Biden lied about at the debate, which we have proof of. Plus, today, the New York Post completely puts the lie to his claim he didn't know about Burisma, and he didn't know about the shenanigans there and the fact that he was involved in a bribe there, since he said he never met or knew anything about Burisma. And there are text messages that make it clear.
So first of all, with Burisma, Joe Biden is accused of pressuring them to fire a prosecutor, supposedly for not investigating the company his son worked for, Burisma. But now that story was broke in 2015, I think it was, in the New York Times. Now here's the reporter that broke that story about Burisma in the New York Times. He now works for The Intercept. I wrote about the Bidens in Ukraine years ago. The right-wing spin machine turned the story upside down. Because what happened was that Biden pressured them to fire a prosecutor that wouldn't investigate Burisma. And installed a prosecutor, or had them and pressured them, lobbied for the Ukrainian government to install a prosecutor that would investigate the company that his son worked for. In fact, Hunter Biden has been the black sheep of blah 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 by. Still, when Joe Biden went to Ukraine, he was not trying to protect his son, quite the reverse. The then vice president issued his demands for greater anti-corruption measures by the Ukrainian government, despite the possibility that those demands would actually increase, not lessen, the chances that Hunter Biden and Burisma would face legal trouble in the UK. So all of this is just absolute nonsense. But beyond that, where did this nonsense come from that Giuliani is spouting off about? Well, the CIA and other spy agencies have said that Rudy Giuliani is dealing with Russian agents, that they are actually feeding misinformation to Giuliani. It also looks like Giuliani is being investigated by the Southern District of New York, which I believe he was the head prosecutor of at one point in time. Crazy! So anyway, continue on, Rudy.
In 2015, he had a meeting with the number 2 person of Burisma in Washington, D.C.
Well, let me jump in really quick if you don't mind.
Those texts were supplied by the Post
Mr. Mayor, let me jump in really quick, if you don't mind here. The New York Post, I just want to walk this through as easy as I can for the viewer.
And that is the reason for everything I just explained to you about how the right wing has twisted the story and got it wrong. That's the reason why Twitter and Facebook has taken action on the story. I don't know that they've tried to censor it. I believe they put the cover over it with the fact checked. I'm not real sure. I've seen a gazillion people share the story, so I'm not exactly sure what measures Facebook and Twitter took about the story. I am aware that Jack Dorsey apparently apologized for something. I don't know what he's apologizing for. If you stop the spread of misinformation, you have nothing to be sorry for at all.
Viewers to understand, because we have two elements here. We have emails that we've seen in the New York Post story, and we have
that say nothing. Go read the emails.
A couple of questions about the pictures in just a minute, but the emails here that we see are alleged from this Ukrainian official on the Energy Board sent to Hunter, thanking him for introducing him to his then vice president, his dad at that time. If these are real and they're true, did Hunter Biden commit anything against the law? Did Joe Biden...
This is one of the pictures they're talking about. Allegedly him with a crack pipe in his mouth.
Sure, here's a couple of them. Number one, if he set up that meeting and he didn't register, he violated the Foreign Agents Registration Act, for which they put Paul Manafort in prison. If they're going to put Paul Manafort in prison, it sounds to me like they should put Hunter Biden in prison.
For second, what? He didn't do anything. You don't know what you're talking about.
Involved in the entire Burisma scheme. In the bribery that he admitted to way back in 2018, he's been lying about this for 6 years.
There was no scheme. There was no bribery.
We have a text message, several of them, setting up the meeting, proving the meeting. Oh, and by the way, this isn't alleged. This is Joe Biden's son's hard drive. It's his. It belongs to him.
This is alleged.
Sent and got those messages. There's no doubt about that.
Because apparently Rudy got this from some store that said somebody turned it over and never picked it up.
To some of that criticism.
I don't have to respond to it.
Well,
I didn't do anything wrong. This has been their game throughout.
They're wondering how you got.
I did something wrong.
They're wondering how you got the laptop. How did you get the hard drive?
I got the hard drive legally, completely legally. Why are they worried about how I got it? Why don't they just say it's untrue? Because it isn't untrue. Because Joe Biden participated in massive bribes.
There's no evidence of that.
Will prove that his son illegally got $10 to $14 million from Ukraine. That the purpose of it was to bribe the president of the Ukraine, which Biden admitted to. It's also going to show that Hunter was sharing half of the proceeds with his father. I have another text message that hasn't been released yet, right here from January 6, 2019. It reads as follows. This is Hunter Biden.
Okay, this should be good.
I love you, but I don't receive any respect, and that's fine, I guess. Works for you, apparently. I hope you all can do what I did and pay for everything for this entire family for 30 years. It's really hard, but don't worry. Unlike Pop, I won't make you give me half your salary. That's the email. It's on the hard drive. It's clearly his hard drive.
Sounds like some fucked up family bullshit. First of all, these aren't text messages, are they? They are Facebook messages. January 3rd, 2019. On a laptop that was supposedly turned in sometime in 2019. This is all seeming really fishy. As if Rudy Giuliani being involved in this isn't all really fishy to begin with. Now remember, intelligence agencies told the president that this man is compromised by Russian agents. Keep that in mind as we continue watching this.
Got 1,000 pictures of him. I haven't put those pictures out. Those pictures are disgusting. Some of those pictures constitute crimes, by the way.
And I want to just point out for the viewers that what you just showed there has not been seen yet. So thank you for sharing some of that with us.
I'll tell you how you can see it. You can go to.
I don't know about disgusting. I've had some of those nights myself.
Rudy'sCommonSense.com. It's there. The exact document is there. The date of the email is there.
Some people think it makes Hunter and Joe far more relatable.
Legally. And I have all the documents to prove it.
I want to ask you this because there's a lot that has been released. There are photos right now. There are a few photos of. That's what I want to ask you about because Hunter Biden is seen on these photos. There is what looks like a crack pipe in his mouth as he's sleeping. There is rumors out there that there are
only one
sex video with a crack pipe in Hunter's mouth. Is that true? Is that out there? Have you seen that?
I have no interest in any of his sex pictures, except one that maybe suggests criminality.
I'm not exactly sure how many people it affects, but a lot of people have a hard time having sex on the cocaine or on the crack. Gives them the whiskey dick or the coke dick. You do enough coke and you're not going to be able to get it up. I'm just saying. So this idea that he's like smoking a bunch of crack and having sex, it's possible. It's absolutely possible. Could be a lot. Some people in the party community like to do such things and use Viagra on top of it, for example. Racquetball. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that this man was smoking some crack and having some sex. 50-50 though. As I said, that's a concern. Your dick not being able to get up is a concern if you're doing hard drugs and having sex.
That should be examined.
Party and play, as they like to call it.
If the FBI ever gets around to examining it, they've only had it for 8 months. I mean, there's something very wrong with our FBI when they don't jump on this. Those videos and those photos only trouble me for one reason. They constitute a national security threat for the United States.
The FBI says he's the national security threat.
It's in the hands of China. And you can bribe and extort and squeeze the vice president with this because he denies it. He says he's a good boy. He doesn't do anything. He's away from drugs. This guy's consistently been on drugs for the last 8 years.
I'm not sure that Biden has denied it. He's confronted it head on, hasn't he?
And another question, who would pay $30 million to a guy who's consistently on drugs unless he's doing it to bribe his father, who's the vice president?
Anybody that's a musician?
With China. And China.
You pay a lot of people on drugs, like anybody in the entertainment field. Models.
But with his brother and sister-in-law.
Probably a hell of a lot of politicians too, Rudy.
Half of it. This is his son's text.
You telling me Rudy Giuliani in New York City in the 80s didn't partake in some cocaine? Who believes that? Is there anybody that believes that? Are you telling me? Oh, shit. Are you telling me that man, this Rudy Giuliani right here, has never done some drugs and done some fucked up shit? Now, from what I've read, Trump does not do cocaine, but is constantly around it and uses it to entice women. That is constantly talking about it. How there's cocaine over there. Go do some cocaine. I believe that 100%. And you can't tell me that Rudy Giuliani right there wasn't on something.
To his son's daughter. I didn't write this. They should stop blaming it on me. I didn't collect the $30 million from China. They did. I didn't sell out to China. They did.
Does
didn't
anybody
have my
else
son
smell
go
something
work for the
fishy about how he
Ukraine
keeps
and
saying,
Ukraine.
I got it legally, I didn't write
What is
this?
Biden doing having his son, who is a very, very seriously afflicted crack cocaine addict, working all around the world? Why doesn't he take care of him? I blame this on Joe Biden. What kind of father has his drug-addicted son, who just gets thrown out of the Navy, go work for the most crooked man in Ukraine and one of the most dishonorable men in China?
I doubt Joe had anything to do with it. I doubt Joe was like, hey, go work for this guy.
He cheated in law school. He cheated in the Senate. And he's been using his family to make millions for years. And he's been doing it by selling us out. And it's disgraceful.
There's some truth to that, but not in the way that Rudy's talking about.
That's the truth.
Well, that's
And
what
I
we're
knew
trying
the
to
moment
find
they
out.
started to come out, they
We
would
want to
attack
find
me.
Like, that's the truth.
I'm glad that
Believe me, do not look into it.
Here's the truth.
There it is.
Went through
Do you have any more documents you can share with me? Any more images,
Oh, yes,
videos?
I do. No, I don't. No, I will not.
But this is a tactic with right wingers. Even though there's nothing to the story, fucking Rudy Giuliani holding up a piece of paper with those messages, it looks incriminating. It gives the optics that there is something to the messages. And Republicans are so good at this. That's one of the reasons they try to get these false investigations going, so they can say, look at this person, they're under investigation. But it was like the other campaign calling in a response to the FEC, so they have to go investigate it. Republicans are underhanded as fuck.
I'll not share them yet.
But will you?
I'm going to let them blow off their steam and consistently say things, because every time they say things, I can prove they're lying. For example, originally when I came out with this, he said I didn't know anything about Burisma. Today, the New York Post blew that wide open. I suspect in the next couple of days, they'll say a few more things that I can prove.
The New York Post has been on a roll with some absolute bullshit.
To get this through, it's the hardest thing I've ever done, because there is a conspiracy to protect him. Washington Post, the New York Times, NBC.
This motherfucker led New York City after 9/11.
The proof of
but his bullshit investigation where he's being played by Russia is the hardest thing he's ever done. Let that sink in.
Enough evidence that would have put, I mean, of the 100 people I convicted, I probably had no more evidence on any of them than there is on him. And I'm sorry that he's the vice president or the Democrat darling. He's a big crook. No, I don't like crooks, and they're very bad for my country.
Well, let me jump in really quick, Rudy, because I know you've seen this. Let's talk social media.
If he doesn't like crooks, I wish he would go jump out a window.
Story came out. I want to say hours later, there was already a censorship, not only on Facebook, but a major one on Twitter. In fact, right when you click on it, it says, warning, this link may be unsafe. What do you make of this?
I make of it, they're corrupt. The media is corrupt. They are covering up a major crime. Joe Biden was involved in getting money.
Hold on. Okay, look at that pinky ring. Any man wearing a pinky ring can't be trusted. Especially a pinky ring. Giant, gold, gaudy, looks like it has diamonds in the middle of it. You can't tell me that's not a sleazy motherfucker. And what the hell, what has he been pressing his thumb on? Right before he came on the air, he was pressing his thumb against something.
They are covering up a major crime. Joe Biden.
Or is that just an old man wrinkle?
In getting money from Iraq, from Ukraine, and a lot of it from China. He was going through his family, and he was getting half of it. His son's texts and emails prove it. Now go cover that up. That's what they're doing. They want him in the White House. They want him in the White House so they can continue to do business with China, so they can continue to cheat and steal, just like he does. This is disgraceful what's going on. Cutting off these text messages and emails. Wow. Where are we? In the Soviet Union? According to Twitter and that other silly place, we are.
The guy being played by Russian propaganda. What, are we in the Soviet Union? The people that are paying me to do this? What?
They think they're going to stop it by doing that? I mean, I'll go around the country and hold up the hard drive and show it to all of you. And I tell you, you look at this hard drive and you vote for this guy, there's something wrong with it.
When can I see more of it?
Well, you will. As they keep falling into the trap, you'll see more and more of it.
Yeah, he wants to leak it little by little.
All at once.
Keep it going in the news cycle for the next 2 weeks. That's the only game plan they've got.
The highest levels of the Obama administration and the corruption in the media that hid that from you for years.
They shut down the Durham investigation.
The story is continuing to develop
because there was nothing in the Obama unmasking investigation.
We will continue to look at
there was nobody to charge. There was nothing illegal. There was nothing improper going on.
Exactly right.
This motherfucker has been compromised by Russian agents. And no one should take him seriously at all. But don't take my word for it. Take somebody who knows Rudy Giuliani incredibly well. Because his daughter says, please everyone, vote for Joe Biden. Oh shit. I think we've got a video of her down here. No? No? I thought she shared that out like a TikTok or something. Oh, it was an op-ed published in Vanity Fair. We are multiverses apart, politically and otherwise. I've come to realize that none of us can afford to be silent right now. The stakes are too high. I accept that most people will start reading this piece because you saw the headline with my father's name. But now that you're here, I'd like to tell you how urgent I think this moment is. So yeah, yet another reason to vote for Joe Biden, as much as I don't want to.